we take for granted until you have nothing.
So you have nothing. And that's what so many people are going to be dealing with tonight. We know at least 35 people. Mary Beth Hoover just said 37. We know there's 37 units, 35 apartments. And the church that is helping out, we're just getting word of this. The name of the church where the Red Cross is going to be helping is the Living Word Christian Center. It's just down the block there. It's 1418 Canal Boulevard East. So I say just down the block. It's literally in the same block as the Regal Apartment Complex. And that is the bird's eye view right now of this apartment fire as its effects impact a great portion of our city right now. Many people are seeing this as they drive in, breathing it in. And Spencer, you mentioned something, you know, that it will be a concern for people because of air quality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we want to be careful with that. Now,
in a very fluid situation this afternoon, as we have been following this fire here in Charleston since that call came in at 3:13. And just to give you a little bit of perspective about what's going on, this is not far from our studios here in Charleston, Mark, and we were able to smell this fire before we were able to see this fire. These flames are intense. The wind is continuing to cause problems at a very old apartment building on the boulevard in the city of Charleston. Crews are working tirelessly. The great news tonight, what we can tell you is that 35 of the 37 apartments that are available inside the Regal Apartment Building on Canal Boulevard that were occupied, everybody is accounted for tonight. It is amazing news as we have watched this unfold now for more than 2 hours. We're approaching 2.5 hours at this point. Every time it appears that these fire crews, Mark, who have been working so incredibly hard to get this under control, seem to have an edge, this fire just won't quit.
Yeah, as mentioned, and this is tough to read because I have friends in the building. I reached out to our friend Seth DeStefano. Our viewers may know him. Seth would be okay with me reading this text. He said, "Thank you so much, dude. I'm alive. Stuff is stuff. Life is precious."
And you couldn't put a finer point on it than that tonight. Continue our breaking news coverage of a fire at the Regal Apartment Building in downtown Charleston. You just heard it there from Mr. Ellerby, and many people are echoing the sentiment as we continue our breaking news coverage tonight that this is a fire unlike anything people have seen in recent memory. As these flames continue to spread, this building is no longer structurally sound. We can tell you that the roof has collapsed, and we are seeing more of that smoke, the smoke and flames coming into that fourth floor of apartment units that are there. The good news tonight, everybody is safe. There are 35 occupied units out of the 37 that are in this apartment building. Everybody is safe tonight. We want to go live to the scene. That's where we find 13 News reporter Lane Ball. Images and just take you back to the scene so you can see what we're seeing as we watch this play out in real time. Nobody's going to be going back into this building. As you just heard, it is structurally unsound. The building will have to come down. That, though, is not a priority at this moment as we watch these crews continue to battle the flames. The call for this came into the newsroom that we were alerted to at around 3:13. It is now 6:17, so we're talking about 3 hours of continuous work from the fire department. Throughout the evening, we've heard from several people. One man who said that he was alerted to the fire. It's the second fire that he's been involved in. He was involved in another apartment fire in Dunbar. His dog was rescued tonight by the Charleston Fire Department. Another man says he was sound asleep, and he said, his name was Mr. Ellerby. He said he's petrified tonight, but he heard pounding at the door, and they said, "Get out, get out." Those fire crews raced into the building, were able to clear that apartment building within a matter of minutes and save countless lives tonight. Things have been lost, but people are safe, and that's the bottom line tonight, is that these folks are safe. They don't have a place to go, but we can tell you that just down the street, they're making accommodations with the Red Cross. The city is also working. Mayor Amy Schuler Goodwin said that the building will be coming down, but right now at the church just down the street there on Canal Boulevard, they're working to do individual assessments with people to find out what their immediate needs are. Somewhere to go tonight, clothing, food, water, medications, the things that they are going to need immediately, and then in the days and weeks to come, because folks are struggling. People are dealing with something that they can't even wrap their minds around. It is overwhelming to stand and watch your home burn. We will continue our coverage in Charleston tonight at the Regal Apartment Building, where you are watching in real time folks deal with the unthinkable. We'll be right back. And we continue our breaking news coverage this evening as crews continue to battle a massive fire at the Regal Apartments on Canal Boulevard in Charleston. Good evening and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Amanda Barron. This video is just into the newsroom of the Regal Apartment Building, coming down as crews say it is a total loss after a fire gutted the building this afternoon. It started just after 3 o'clock. Crews have been on the scene ever since. Again, all of this just into the newsroom as portions of the building come down. We were on the air live with you this afternoon as that roof collapsed this afternoon, and now we're watching as pieces and parts of a building that's quite old and one of those places that you always saw on Charleston's Canal Boulevard. A beautiful old building where there were 37 apartment units that people lived, tonight is destroyed by fire. We don't know what caused the fire, but what we can tell you tonight, the most important thing is that everyone made it out of that building safely. This is some drone footage just into the newsroom as well. You saw there about 6 different spots, the length of that building that crews were working to put out, battling it from every single angle. Amazingly tonight, we can tell you this fire has not spread to any other building on Charleston's East End. That's where we find Brian Hughes. He joins us now live on the scene with the latest. Brian, many questions tonight that we are asking, things about fire alarms, things about building inspections, and first and foremost, the general welfare of the people who have watched their lives go up in flames. Rachel, thanks. As crews battle this fire, one thing that we've been thinking about all day is the weather, and Spencer was talking about it last night during our broadcast at 7 o'clock about the intensity of the winds today. The winds have been something that Spencer has been keeping an eye on because we watched the smoke and the flames shift throughout the broadcast this afternoon as we were able to bring this to you moment by moment as it happens. Chief Meteorologist Spencer Atkins is here. Spencer, you've been able to provide some great perspective of what the firefighters have been up against throughout all of this, and we're so lucky that at least the temperatures are what they are, because the amount of water they've had to use tonight to fight those flames, you can only imagine what that would have been like had it iced over.
Oh yeah, I mean, prudent thing to do.
Think about the dedication of these firefighters too. When you think about the job that they do, and it's constantly preparing for something you hope will never happen. Tonight it happened, and they have maps of all of these apartment buildings. They study those maps. They know where to go, where to look, and all of that training paid off in such a big way by the fact that everybody made it out of that apartment building. What we could be reporting tonight and what we are reporting,
and we have in the past, I think, about the Emmons apartment fire 16 years ago to the month.
Yes.
So in Huntington, so glad nobody was hurt.
Yeah, people died in that fire at the Emmons apartment building in Huntington. It was January of 2007 when that happened. It was a weekend. It was a Saturday night when that fire happened. An absolute tragedy. We still think of those people today, the families that lost loved ones. Tonight, so many people are counting their blessings that their loved ones are okay. Their things might be gone, but their loved ones are okay.